Hi, everybody. Thanks to the generosity of John Houlihan, we're having a Halloween contest. 5 winners will receive the Trelleborg Monstrosities novella with the Trelleborg Monstrosities Call of Cthulhu adventure. 5 other winners will receive the Trelleborg Monstrosities novella with the Trelleborg Monstrosities Savage World adventure. All you have to do is email us at nerdsdomain@gmail.com with your favorite Call of Cthulhu story. It can be something you played through or a story you read. Just tell us about your experience. And 2, you need to go over to facebook.com/Trelleborg Monstrosities, TRELLBORG Monstrosities, and like the Facebook page. Don't know if you like the novella? That's okay. Check out the review over at on our website, nerdsdomain.com/the-Trelleborg-monstrosities-novella. The contest will run through November 1st at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're looking forward to reading all of your entries.
You better button your brain, you're in the nerds domain. Come on in, it's about to begin.
Hi, everybody. I'm Matt.
I'm Shirley.
And welcome to the Nerds Day podcast. This week we're talking about Captain Phillips. It's an immediate movie review. Yay! Woo! So, Captain Phillips. The true story of Captain Richard Phillips and the 2009 hijacking by Somali pirates of the U.S.-flagged MV Maersk, Alabama, the first American cargo ship to be hijacked in 200 years. Starring Tom Hanks and some other names that I'm not familiar with. Barkhad Abdirahman. I'm not making this up. Directed by Paul Greengrass. I'm not sure what else Paul Greengrass has done. He's done a couple of Bourne movies and the United 93 movie. So, Shirley.
Yes.
Since it's just the two of us tonight.
Woohoo!
Why don't we give a quick, brief overview of what we thought of the movie with no spoilers, and then we'll get into spoilers and warn everybody. Okay? So go ahead.
For me, this is a very I would say for me this is a very emotional movie, in that it like touched on some global issues that are very close to my heart. So watching this and the movie as it is portrayed made me a little upset in most places, and at the end I really liked the movie and how it was written, but to me it felt a lot like at the end I felt dismayed in that it felt a lot like military propaganda. So other than that I don't.
Do you have a star rating there?
For content, for acting, I would definitely give it a 4. I really like the movie. So, yeah.
Okay, then for everything else, what would you give it? Because you specified two very
I guess
key things.
Just for, the way that the United States military was portrayed, writers tend to hype all of the stuff up that, actually happens in combat and things like that. So, just for that part of it, I would probably give it a 2.53.
2.53?
Yeah.
2.5?
2.5 or 3.
3.0. Okay, I'm with you now. We're not breaking numbers down to 2.56739279.
Hey.
Okay.
That's what I
All right, well, I enjoyed the movie. There is... The second half of the movie is a lot of shaky cam. If you've listened to any previous immediate movie reviews, you know I really don't like that. I was pretty queasy through the second half of the movie. I think Tom Hanks was amazing. I think all of the actors did a really good job. It was very well done. It's important to note, and this isn't a spoiler, it is important to note that there is no CGI in this movie, which means that all of the shots you see of the boats and on the boats, those were real boats, and that's kind of important. And I like that too, because it gives the feel of the movie a more realistic feel.
Right.
Yeah. So I'd give this a 4.5. I don't have same concerns about military propaganda that my co-host does, but I really enjoyed the movie, and I think it was worth choking through the shaky cam. I think it's completely worth watching.
You almost got seasick.
Yeah, I did. And if you have a chance to go out and see this, and you like watching historical things, especially recently historical things, that you get to see what might have actually happened, I think those are important, and that's definitely makes this worth watching. So, since we've gotten that out of the way, let's go a little bit into spoilers. But first, I want to ask, what do you mean military propaganda? Like, how is this military propaganda?
It's just the way that the military was portrayed in the movie.
How is that propaganda?
And how they were, called in, and I felt that they could have spent more time on, at the beginning of the movie, they could have spent more time on, building the story of why the Somalians commit acts of piracy.
Somalis, not Somalians.
They're Somalis.
I don't know. Doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Somalis, why they commit these acts of piracy, and what desperation is built into their lives, where they capture a boat worth here's a spoiler, worth $6 million, and they're still living these third world lives. They don't get any of it. The drug lords get it, and the people that hire them get it.
So your argument against the military being portrayed the way they were is that it showed that side of it and not the other side. Not that it was a military propaganda film. It's that because that's did you follow the news? That's how it happened. That's how military operations work.
Well, it's just in the times of war that we're in, and the things that are going on over in the Middle East. It's just another plug for the United States military.
Hold on. So the military saves Captain Phillips and the entirety of the ship and crew, and there's no way that they should be given any kind of positive show for that.
No, I didn't say that.
But that's what you said, that the way they were shown, all that does is create propaganda.
Right.
But that's not propaganda. That's saying, you know what? We have SEALs and we have Navy armed forces that save our own people. That's part of what they do.
But they could have, even though all of that happened, like the ending scene, that was very real. That was very emotional, and that played into the movie very, very well. Okay. Did they have to show them shooting all 3 of those pirates? No, they didn't have to do that. Those were desperate men committing a desperate act.
But that's how it ended. This is a true story.
Okay, well, they didn't have to show it.
Show what?
Violence on that type of military violence on camera. There was no reason for that scene to be there.
Have you watched Bourne Ultimatum or any of those?
Yeah, they're not real. They're not real stories.
It's still military violence.
No, it's not. They're assassins. They're programmed people. Okay. It's a wholly unrealistic movie. This was filmed like a documentary. And
I wouldn't agree with that, but okay.
There were parts of it that were very documentary-esque, I would say. And I just think that some of the military parts could have been left to the quote-unquote imagination.
It's not like the soldiers were like running around shooting off guns. It was 3 very precise shots because an American was in mortal danger. At that point, he was going to be killed. That was it. And so they saved Captain Phillips, and the only way to do that was to take violent action. So
they didn't have to show that part, though. I mean, it happened in real life.
Did you see a single? Did you see a single one of them get shot?
Yes, you did.
No, you didn't. You never saw that. There was an extent of gore that was completely left out of that. Think back. All you saw was the blood spray.
Well, that's my point of view. That's how I feel. I feel like that, for me, did not lend anything to the movie, and it could have been kept out.
But how is it going to be kept out?
Why?
How do you keep that out?
It could have been kept out in a million different ways.
How? Give me one. Since you have a million, give me one.
The shot could not have taken place.
Except that's part of the story. How did Captain Phillips get rescued?
Okay, that's fine, but they didn't have to show the three guys getting shot.
They didn't show the three guys getting shot.
When you see that scene, you know that they're being shot.
Right, because
and
that's
the blood spraying everywhere.
But that's because
else.
It's an important plot point. You have to know that happened.
Yeah,
if you don't show anything at all,
but it can be conveyed in a different way.
They didn't show the blood. It's not like they showed their heads exploding or something like that.
Okay,
it was completely off screen.
Okay, well, those are my feelings about it. So,
but like, are we not going to? Okay, all right.
I mean, if that's the way I feel about it, I don't think it needs to be debated.
I don't understand how they could have kept this out of the plot, or how they could have used this plot point in a different way, and you're not giving me a single way.
Well, I don't know. I'm not a writer.
You said there were a million ways.
They could have panned away from it.
They did pan away from it. You didn't see the Ben get shot.
Okay. That scene to me did not lend very much to the movie.
Really?
Because
hold on, don't stop. Back up. So he's on the boat. Now this is we're already into spoilers.
Right.
He's on the boat.
Right.
He's attacked the one guy that was a terrible, terrible person. The other three made some bad choices, but the big guy, whose name I can't think of, he was really hateful and violent and dangerous.
Right, and he's basically the person that was driving the fear of the other men. I think that if he had been taken out,
that's part of it. There were a couple other things, but yeah,
with him,
I agree.
It would have ended totally different.
So there are these three men, two of which Captain Phillips clearly felt bad for, and not counting the one on the Navy ship at that point.
Right.
And he doesn't want at least two of them to die.
Right.
I don't think he wants the other one to die either. I think he just wants it to end.
Right.
So then the last scene of the movie is him being cleaned up by the medics, right? Mm-hmm. How would have that scene have been impacted by taking away that traumatic effect that the shooting had on Captain Phillips? You saw his face.
Like I said, I'm not a writer. I don't know how that could have been rewritten.
Doesn't. So you're telling me that didn't lend at all to that last scene?
To me, it just seemed like it was over the top and extreme, and more whatever they do to get people to watch movies.
Of all the things that were over the top and extreme, like of all the movies out there, this one was not over. Like,
I'm not talking about all movies. I'm talking about this movie and how the flow of the story went, and how this scene for me. I think this scene could have been rewritten in some different way to not have shown the things that it did, and this point still would have gotten across.
I don't think it would have. I think that the director chose to have the scene shot a certain way to give the same impact to the viewers that Captain Phillips was feeling himself, so that the following scene when he's being cleaned up by the medics, that impact is just as heavy on the viewers as it is on Captain Phillips, and you understand more of what he went through. Right. And not just he saw it. We didn't even see it. And I teared up in that last scene when they're cleaning him up. Mm-hmm. I teared up. He's clearly shaken.
Right.
That impact on him is given to us through that portrayal, and I think that's exactly what the director should have done.
Right.
Showing them being shot and showing blood or bullets going in them. That's not needed. But showing the effect that had and how close he was and what that did to him, that was completely important.
Really. I think no offense to the real Captain Phillips, but I think I felt to him up until the point that those men were shot. And I felt like, the desperation of people to be able to go and do this and then die at the end of it, which, you can't rewrite history. It is what it is. That's what happened. To me, I felt more for the three guys that hijacked the ship than I did at the end of the movie.
You mean the 4 guys that hijacked the ship?
Yeah, well, the 3 guys that got shot and died.
Why did you feel that?
Because it seems like it was unnecessary.
What was unnecessary?
Their deaths.
It's a debate for another day. What did you feel about the cinematography for the rest of the movie?
Oh no, the way that it was shot, I liked it. I'm not, I don't get shaky cam sickness, so.
No,
but
I'm not talking
like
about that. The rest of the movie, like from beginning to end, like not all that was shaky cam. So, what did you think?
Well, I think, like I said, I felt most of it, to me, it felt like it was documentary-esque, like you were following him around, so you saw part of his life and him getting ready to go and getting on the ship and meeting the crew. And
what do you mean by documentary-esque?
When you watch documentaries, it's like a camera following somebody around, filming their life and filming what's going on. And that's the way it felt to me. It felt like very much like it could have been a documentary.
Okay. Except that documentaries have a narrative spoken usually by someone else other than the main focus of the piece.
Well, I was just talking about the way it was shot. I'm not talking about okay. So... But, in that way, I felt visually the story was really, I really liked it.
Okay.
What did you think?
I think that it was well handled. I think that, Tom Hanks, did a really good job of, displaying a character that had very specific standards and how he exacted those on his crew, even if his crew didn't agree with him.
Right.
I think it displayed a lot of courage throughout both the character and the actor. I think Tom Hanks did a really good job of displaying that effect and how that worked. Overall, I was really impressed with his portrayal. He felt real, and not just sometimes even well acted dramas feel like, oh well, this is just a guy playing a part. He felt very real. It didn't feel like that. And I think that everything was handled with a lot of respect, and since it's a what do you call that? Since it's a real life event. And it's pretty. I mean, it's still 4 years old, but it's still decently recent. I think it was all handled really well, and portrayed really well. So, yeah. So,
I felt like all of the actors in the movie did a really, really good job portraying the characters that they played. Even the Somalis. I kind of regret not going back and listening to the NPR interview with Tom Hanks about the movie and about the guys that portrayed the Somalis. I think I would have more to talk about in regards to their characters and the type of people and who they are, because being on the quote-unquote the bad guy side, you have to have a certain kind of stick-to-itness or personality to be able to portray that and pull it off. And I think that the kids that played the four pirates were really good and really did a good job portraying them.
So, would you suggest anybody specific go see this?
I don't know, people that like documentaries, people that like historical I think that would be about it. This really wasn't an action flick or anything with unrealistic. Everything was pretty spot on, realistic, real life.
It didn't feel slow though.
It didn't.
It was a slow paced movie, but it
pace.
didn't feel slow paced.
But I think that's another thing that was really good about this. Usually in movies you expect either a lot of action or a lot of story. And because I feel like because I went in expecting or knowing that this was a story that happened in real life, you watched it as it was played out in, real life time, quote unquote.
Yeah. I think the director did a good job of bringing out a lot of tension in the movie and how it was portrayed. The ship felt very real. I understand some of that was probably shot on a soundstage somewhere, but the ship still felt very real.
Right. I wouldn't even have thought that.
It had to have been to get all that camera stuff in there.
Yeah.
In some of those spots, they probably built. I would say that probably the bridge and the engine room, and some of the rest of that might have been shot on ship, but the bridge and the engine room, since they were in there so much, it probably was done. And I'm betting that the boat was also the lifeboat was also on a soundstage. Yeah, because there was no room in that boat. Yeah. It felt that boat felt very confining. I got hot when they got in it. So I think the director did a really good job of conveying a lot of things in this movie, and I really would like to go see something else that he puts out. We did see a trailer for, completely off topic, for Saving Mr. Banks, which is the Mary Poppins story, and Tom Hanks in that plays Walt Disney. And I'm really looking forward to that. He looks amazing in that, and he does. I think that will be a lot of. That'll be a lot of fun. I don't know when it comes out. I don't remember if it said when. I would bet sometime in the next few months. I would say before Christmas, because maybe it's an Oscar movie. You know what? It may come out Christmas Day. Now that you've said that, yeah. But it looks really good, and I would suggest you guys keep an eye out for that. Any other thoughts, Shirley?
No, it was really well acted, really well written. It's a really good movie. I didn't read the story of when the actual events happened. I didn't read the news or anything, so seeing this kind of, put me in the story and helped me see what happened. So like I said, I give it a 4 out of 5, and I do recommend that people see it.
Yeah. So check that out, and as always, you can find us on Twitter. I'm at Quiet Shirley's at SNED70. You can follow the website at NerdsDomain. You can email us at nerdsdomain@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/nerdsdomain. We want to thank Josh Shop for our music. If you'd like to help us out, head over to the website and order something through our Amazon link. It's the same price for you, and we get a little bit back. If you enjoy our podcast, we encourage you to write a review over on iTunes and let us know what you think. And we have shirts available over at /loot at tinyurl.com/indie shirts, and we will talk to you real soon.